Hey everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade,
And I'm Joe.
and we're here for yet another quarantine edition of the Criterion Connection. It's going forever. So we're gonna do a movie that recently was released on Blu-ray last week, The Cremator from 1969.
I think
It's
it's also I think it's also worth mentioning that it's also been recently restored.
yes, it's recently been restored. It's a Czech movie directed by Yori Hers. I'm just gonna say that's it. I'm
I
not
got
gonna.
I got nothing for Czech, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Juraj. I'm gonna guess that the J is silent. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was the first Czechoslovakian entry for the Best Foreign Language Awards at the Academy Awards, but it was not accepted as a nominee. The movie was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Um it's one of those ones where they call it a dark comedy, but it was a lot like the one of the Three Colors ones. If you remember, where it was just like, are you sure? Are you
Yeah,
sure
like
this is dark comedy?
this is very I mean, the strange thing is I could see where people could say it's a little bit of a comedy at times,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so dark near the end, especially where you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to note like how different countries have had different reactions at different
Yeah.
points in the release and all that. So it's one of those movies that I guess could elicit those kind of reactions.
Basically,
Whereas,
here's an excerpt I saw. In Prague, people were depressed. In Slovakia, they laughed. And in the Netherlands, it was a comedy from beginning to end. And
yeah,
to us, it was very hard.
yeah, it was me. Yeah, I would probably put it as like a psychological horror movie, um, just because it's exploring how easily somebody could get, corrupted,
Oh, yeah.
and it doesn't do it through those normal tropes with, the propaganda or anything like that. It was just, you have this guy who has very kind of Eastern um, influence beliefs,
Yeah.
and it just takes a couple people to kind of bend his thoughts
Yeah.
and
Worth
and and put certain ideas in his mind.
worth noting this because I did not know this until it happened, until the one guy showed up. I was like, wait, this takes place in the early 40s?
It's the 30s.
30s, yeah, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, around there. Probably late 30s more, based on the timeline. Uh,
Because the one Dalai Lama had passed away.
oh, that's a good point. That's a good observation. But yeah, like he kind of gets. No, he doesn't kinda. He definitely gets corrupted by the Nazi Party, which I was like, whoa, I thought this movie was in the 60s. I guess it was made in the 60s. I don't know. By the way, this guy is a cremator. He owns and runs a crematorium. If you didn't know from the title,
It's not
that's
the
his
only
job.
thing he does either. Like, he's
Yeah.
always exploring other avenues of getting money.
Yeah,
But
he's
like
very,
his main thing is being a director of like a funeral place, like a
yeah,
crematorium.
he's very, he finds himself a very sophisticated man. And this is kind of what leads him onto this delusion
Mm-hmm.
because he thinks he's already like, oh, I'm the best. Look at me. Look at my hair. Look at me comb my hair every 5 minutes every time I comb someone else's corpse's hair.
Yeah, it feeds into his elitist thoughts
Oh yeah,
and his like superiority. I would say complex, but I'm not sure. Like, to him, everybody's got to elevate to him,
Yeah.
and he also, like, in the philosophy side, like, he thinks in reincarnation, and that, you know, death isn't a permanent end, which allows the really dark things to happen at the end of the movie, because he doesn't see them as a permanent end. He sees it as like a liberation,
Yeah.
as you know, a chance to start again. You know, it's gonna happen anyway. You know, let me be the one to do it.
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of
very
thoughts.
you basically treat it like he's a hero, no guilty conscience needed for what he does. And yeah, he's a like when you first meet him, he seems like a kind of normal guy, a, a little bit too snooty for me, but I think once you get to the carnival, you really start realizing, oh, he's a weirdo.
Yeah,
When everyone,
he's a weird guy.
when everyone's all smiling at the carnival part, he's not. And then they go into that weird wax figure horror show, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like smiling at all the dead and all the like death scenes. He's all smiling. Everyone's like, "What the hell?"
There's a lot of like jump cuts to
Yeah,
keep you really off balance throughout the movie, and uh, like early on, I don't think anybody gets the significance until you get to what happens later on when he starts having hallucinations. When you kind of pry into the mind of this guy, but yeah, it's just really weird when you first start the movie.
yeah, and then yeah, just very quick cuts. Like the editing is very sleek. Where it's just the sides. We have these weird close-ups, jump cuts, these close-ups of someone's eyes or someone holding something or a painting. Some
Mm-hmm.
weird decisions of that, but it really works. Like near the end when he's just going crazy, it makes you think: was he going crazy from the start?
It's very possible.
I also have to say that the score in this is pretty good. Like when they're doing the tour of the crematorium for his helper or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like that there's like this nice like little kind of score, like string score going behind it. It's so haunting and ominous. And then after that tour scene, they cut to that carnival, like super happy music. It was very weird. Also like how like they set up the iron pipe
Mm-hmm.
where he drops it and he's like, oh, you gotta put it there, we might use that for something. That's what I'm thinking. People could find it as a comedy. It's like, oh, he's gonna use it this time. Also, I kind of find it funny that he's like hypochondriac
Yeah.
and he works at a crematorium. I thought that was kind of funny. Like, he's like, of course he's a hypochondriac. And then, of course, there's another thing that's pretty funny that I thought, like, I could see. I didn't laugh out loud at all during this movie. There was not even one chuckle, but I could see people chuckling at the morphine addict being like, "Hey, I got this collection of fruit flies. If you give me morphine."
Yeah, there's that. I think the son is actually kind of funny.
Oh, was it Millie? Oh
Yeah,
God.
he's an odd character. He's, you know, just kind of weird, and his father exerts this kind of control over him. But yeah, I think Millie is a interesting character if you're looking at it for like comedic relief.
Also, I guess one part I was like, I could see this as a joke is the wife. When she has to go to the bathroom and stay on the chair to fix the light bulb, and you're just like, what? And then at the end, when the cat's chewing on the cord, and you're like, what? Like such comical, like it's so that I could see that's the only scene I can really see as a real comedic spot. Because like, why would she put herself in that position
Mm-hmm.
when he could
I,
easily just change the light bulb himself?
yeah, I mean, like I said, it it has these small moments. Like, to me, it doesn't come off that way, but like it's like a few tweaks from being like a clue.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, it has those setups that that could pay off like that. But yeah, to
yeah.
me, to me, the overall movie is a kind of psychological horror with an unreliable narrator.
Yes, especially when he's like getting the delusions and he's reporting to the director, which is him,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just this weird like kind of like he gets on his knees and like please, and this is kind of like it kind of. I don't think it kind of. I think it does allude to he's kind of behind, sort of behind the final solution a little bit.
Well, no, that's
But
what it is. It's talking about they're getting ready to use those industrial gas chambers
yeah,
at the concentration camps, and they're bestowing the honor on him to run them, and he is wholeheartedly down for it because of how twisted his mind is at this point, and how they've used his um, not fascination, but um, his positive outlook on death
yeah.
to basically say, I'm going to help liberate all these people. I'm going to save the whole world.
I was not expecting that. When I
Yeah.
started this movie, I was not expecting it to go this way.
I didn't know what to expect either.
Yeah,
I was surprised I even found it.
I
To be
went
honest with
very
you.
dark. Went very dark in this movie. I just liked the title, and I know it was recently released. That's why I picked it. I was not expecting what I got, and you know what? I'm not complaining. It's very. I'll say I was. It kept my interest the entire time.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it again, and I'd like to watch it like with somebody and see what they think. Um, but yeah, for me, it's like a. I didn't feel like it wasted my time. Like it was an interesting movie, but there were times where I kind of was ready to move on to something else.
So I'm guessing you are for buy, rent, or skip. You're saying rent or stream.
Yeah, at best. Um, and I think it's a very interesting visual movie, like with the different cuts and the shots they use, and the way they portray like the boxing scenes and the scenes where he starts murdering his family. Like
The fact that he
I
brings
think
the
that
sister, the fact that he does to the
he
son and
does the whole
brings the
same
sister.
thing. The
Yeah,
whole thing's the same, and basically the one thing that gets thrown off is the one guy's wife is he's looking for her, and that throws off the whole mojo, and that's probably why it doesn't end up happening.
yeah.
But like to me, like it's a visually interesting movie. Um, I'd have to watch it again to see if I really get attached to the story. Like I think it's a very well done and an interesting a an interesting way to develop that idea of make a movie about the Nazis easily corrupting people and swaying them into doing these horrific acts during the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Like, what an interesting way to tackle that subject. Whether or not the movie is a successful and entertaining movie, I think varies person to person. So
Yeah.
I'd like to watch it again at some point. So I'll say rent or stream.
Yeah, it's on the Criterion channel, so
Yeah.
definitely you can stream it on there. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to say it's a buy. I think it's an interesting enough movie that I personally would buy it. If it's not buy for someone, it'd probably be a very high recommendation for a stream. And I think it's worth it. I want to see the special features. I want to see, if there's a commentary. I hope there's a commentary on it. Um, but yeah, like I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than you did. Uh, Usually it's the opposite. Usually you enjoy it more than I do. But this movie, for some reason, this was the one I was like, you know what? I'm gonna say bye on this one.
Well, I was just thinking about it, and it almost gives me a bit of John Waters vibes.
Yeah.
Just with more uh, quality talent in front of the camera and some of them behind the camera as well. But and that kind of aligns with the way that you like the movie more than I do. I think that's what it is. Like I said, it gives me a little bit of like a John Waters vibe.
Reminds me of oh no, I guess we did the movie before. Man Bites Dog. It gives me that vibe of like a weird,
That too. Yeah,
quirky kind of horror thing.
that works. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, which we've done before, and you can check out on our previous videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's about does it for the Cremator and Criterion Connection this week. Let us know in the comment section below what you think. Did you get the Blu-ray or DVD combo? Like, did you watch all the special features, the supplements? Let us know in the comment section below. What's another movie that's like Cremator? That's like Man Bites Dog. That's kind of like this weird, quirky kind of black comedy / horror psychological thriller thing. Let us know in the comment section. Suggestions, all kinds of things. What are you doing? What are you watching during this quarantine situation? Share, subscribe, you know the deal. So until next time, I'm Wade,
And I'm still Joe.
and we will see you later.